This short video is basically going to provide a lay of the land for what Module 1 is accomplishing, how it coordinates and ties to what you're learning in written theory, and how it's an application. Like, think of this class as a lab, and how we're basically using it as a lab component, as a supplement to MUSI 1100, which is written theory. So Chapter 1 is all about rhythmic reading, and it's all simple meters that are going on with Chapter 1. So the first two sections, which are part of Module 1, are essentially the beat and its division, and working a little bit with ties and augmentation dots. Again, augmentation dots which add a note's duration or 50% of a note's duration to itself. So you have sort of like an elongation of a note value. So if you look at something like, for instance, I'm on page 4. Page 4, you can see some of these sorts of things at play, like example 1.15, where you have that sort of tied note value, or something like if you look at example 1.10 and measure 1, 2, 3, you have that augmentation dot going on, extending the life of that note. So that's what Chapter 1 is about in terms of Module 1. In Module 2, we'll work deeper into Chapter 1 stuff, and then eventually we'll work into Chapter 4, which is all about compound metric structures and reading those beats that divide into 3 parts. But for Chapter 1 anyways, and Chapter 2 for that level, or for that matter, all the beats are simple beats, which means they're dividing into 2 equal parts. So then what is Chapter 2 about? Chapter 2, by and large, is about getting used to reading different clefs, bass and treble primarily, well, just bass and treble, but also stepwise motion and major keys, which is where we're getting into in Module 2 in written theory, getting a little bit of sense as to how major keys work and what the note names are and so on and so on. But also beat level and beat division level. So if that beat is a quarter note, we're at like 3/4 or 4/4, eighth note values coming out and being part of that discourse is essentially what's going on with Chapter 2's melodies, rhythmically speaking. And then melodic content, we're talking stepwise motion, which is what we call conjunct motion, not too many leaps or any leaps at this level, or arpeggiations, things like that. It's all straightforward stepwise motion. So those are the main things that are going on with chapters 1 and 2. And at the beginning of chapter 1 and the beginning of chapter 2, they're nice, like chapter 2, I'm looking at page 13. There's a really good little preamble or an introduction to how to approach chapter 2's material, which I think everyone should definitely take time to read before they start seeing and submitting assignments. But even if you started submitting assignments, because I'm a little late getting this out here, you might just go back and read through that to make sure it all makes sense in terms of how to prepare these things appropriately. And there's going to be videos posted, or there are videos posted about how to prepare rhythms, how to prepare singing exercises, and then also how to submit those things here on the ELC. So good luck out there, and keep singing.